Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I know this is going to sound unbelievable, but I assure you that I am not making this up. Look at your calendar. It is not April 1st. I'm not having a silly or funny April Fool's joke. The SEC is again claiming that XRP itself is a security. I kid you not. Now, the good news is that an exchange called Bitnomial, which trades crypto futures, they have sued the SEC as a result of this, because the SEC has put Bitnomial, the exchange that's suing the SEC, in a position where they literally cannot launch the product because of the way that the system is set up. It's like technically, literally impossible. And it's completely outrageous. At this point, I mean, if it wasn't already crystal clear, and I'd argue that it was, this is an all-out attack on everything, not just against Ripple, but having to do with the XRP ecosystem. They want to destroy it all. And of course they can't, that's the good news, but they are making life hell for everyone involved in the meantime, because these are some of the most despicable creatures that nature ever accidentally made. Those would be the SEC attorneys. But before going any further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And by the way, I got a little clean up an aisle BS here to do. Here's a headline from Cointelegraph. Bitnomial sues SEC over claim that XRP is a security. They blatantly lied about something that allegedly Bitnomial said, which they did not say, and I'm going to show that to you in this video. Also, Bitnomial has a factual inaccuracy in their own filing where they're suing the SEC. So obviously Bitnomial, they're on our side. They got something a little imprecise. Their attorneys, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I'm surprised that they made this mistake, but we'll get to that a little bit later in the video. So I'm just going to correct it here, but it was glaringly obvious to me. So let's go ahead and jump into this Cointelegraph piece. Crypto exchange Bitnomial sued the United States Securities and Exchange Commission and its 5 commissioners, accusing the agency of overextending its jurisdiction over digital assets by claiming that XRP is a security. And just pause to think about the absurdity of this. You know, it was, I want to say August of last year, that the SEC wrote to Judge Torres in the SEC v. Ripple case and said that they will not be appealing the legal status of XRP. Do you remember that? They literally wrote that. They said it's nothing more than computer code with no inherent value, and they said that they will not seek appeal on that. Yet here they are, speaking out of the other side of their mouth. Yeah, but XRP is a security, bro. And then on top of that, they during the SEC v. Ripple case, they were still arguing that if you ask them, are you saying XRP is a security? No, we're not saying it's a security. But then you look at all of their arguments, and all of their arguments are claiming that XRP itself is a security. And so that's called the embodiment theory. It embodies everything. So no, we're not saying it's a security, but it embodies all of that. So that's they're trying to use that as like some sort of loophole phrase to get out of the reality, which is that they absolutely have been claiming this whole damn time XRP is a security. That's what they were doing throughout the SEC v. Ripple case. So check this out. This is completely insane. Like, I kid you, this is the most bat S-word crazy crap I've ever seen in crypto. This is insane. I don't know how... assuming that this, this ultimately does make it to court, I don't see how the judge doesn't easily identify this as another instance where the SEC is not engaging faithfully, not seeking truth, not seeking to protect investors, so on and so forth. Anyway, Cointelegraph piece continues. Bitnomial claimed in an October 10th suit filed in an Illinois federal court that XRP is already regulated as a commodity, and the SEC asserts jurisdiction over a product that is already regulated by and subject to the exclusive jurisdiction of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. The exchange added, quote, in doing so, the SEC inappropriate duplicates and compounds the regulatory burden on Bitnomial, end quote. In August, Bitnomial, which the CFTC approved in 2020 to trade crypto futures, filed a self-certification with the CFTC to list XRP futures contracts on its exchange. The exchange said the SEC contacted it and asserted that XRP futures are securities and required Bitnomial to register as a securities exchange before listing the product. So that's obviously complete insanity. Bitnomial said, and check this out, this is where I'm going to have to correct Cointelegraph for blatantly lying. Bitnomial said it cannot possibly comply with the legal requirements to list XRP futures because the token's issuer, Ripple Labs must register it as a security, which it hasn't. The SEC has effectively blocked Bitnomial from listing XRP futures, it claimed. Okay, so we know that Ripple, of course, did not create XRP because XRP existed before Ripple Labs existed. So duh, couldn't be the issuer. So I'm like, I read this and I was like, there's no way that Bitnomial thinks that, obviously. So I went to their document. I used a little Control F to search the document, and I found the relevant portion right here. Because again, Cointelegraph is claiming that that Bitnomial said that Ripple Labs issued XRP. Let me say that again. Cointelegraph claims that Bitnomial, which is suing the SEC, is claiming that Ripple Labs is the issuer of XRP. They didn't say that. They are lying about what Bitnomial said because they want it to be the case, and they, for years, have been presenting it as the case that XRP was created by Ripple when the facts dispute that. It's easily provable as false. But Cointelegraph, they've been doing this for years. They're dishonest. Here's what Bitnomial actually wrote. Even setting aside, this is paragraph 7 in the lawsuit against the SEC from Bitnomial, filed yesterday. Even setting aside this fundamental disagreement, Bitnomial cannot possibly comply with the Exchange Act's requirements to list XRP futures. To list a security futures contract based on a single underlying security, the issuer of the underlying security must register it under the Exchange Act. So pause right there. They said the issuer would have to register it. They did not say that Ripple is the issuer. Cointelegraph made that up. It is not true. Bitnomial did not make that claim. And in fact, I mean, if you want to, like, who are the issuers? I mean, if you're going to make a claim, it would have to be the creators, right? One of them isn't even a founder of Ripple, David Schwartz. Good luck with that. Anyway, Bitnomial continues here, paragraph 7. However, as the SEC knows, XRP, which is the underlying security in the SEC's view, is not registered. Further, Bitnomial is not the issuer of XRP and, even if it wanted to, does not have the power to register XRP. Thus, the SEC has effectively blocked Bitnomial from listing XRP futures. Spot on. That's right. Bitnomial can't register XRP as a security even if they wanted. And by the way, neither could Ripple because they don't own it and it is not theirs. They cannot do it. And in fact, and I'd said this, a number of times throughout the course of the lawsuit, if Ripple even had tried to register XRP, I would have been furious about that and screamed about it on my channel endlessly to anybody who would be willing to listen. The presumptuousness of that the XRP ledger is just yours, Ripple. Now, they didn't do that, but that would have been my response. It is not theirs. It is decentralized. So there's a Cointelegraph lie, but let's move forward here. Brad Garlinghouse had something to say about this. They reposted the post from the official Bitnomial account on X talking about this. And actually, I should follow them real quick for updates. There's following Bitnomial now. Okay. So Brad Garlinghouse says, a new low for a renegade agency many thought couldn't sink further. The SEC now believes it can operate above the law, ignoring a court's ruling that XRP isn't a security. Team Ripple will be watching closely and weighing our own options to hold the SEC accountable. Right, so I'm hoping that means ultimately, assuming this really does make it to trial, which who knows what the SEC does in response to this, but presumably there's a pretty good chance that would happen. Ripple should do something to intervene here, and that might just mean like filing an amicus brief if the court will allow it, something like that. That I'd love to see. And here was attorney Bill Morgan. He's the one that I first saw a post from last night, kind of breaking the story, frankly, or at least he was among the first to recognize this. And he highlighted 3 paragraphs, which you are going to want to see. This is absolutely absurd. So what we're seeing here, excuse me, is not a document from the SEC, but this is the lawsuit from Bitnomial. It was just filed. And they're talking about what the SEC said specifically to them and the documents that they sent. This is insanity here. They're lying intentionally about what the court found in the SEC v. Ripple case. I kid you not. They are intentionally being deceptive about what happened there. So now that Bitnomial has sued, once this thing gets to court, assuming it does, a judge is going to easily see this. A judge will see through this. That's about a 100% chance. Check out how insane this is. So attorney Bill Morgan of the XRP community wrote the following and shared this screen grab of the lawsuit. And he said, you have to read paragraph 34 to 36 of the complaint of Bitnomial against the SEC or you won't believe me. SEC supported its assertion that XRP is a security by giving Bitnomial copies of its summary judgment brief in SEC v. Ripple, but did not note that the court rejected the SEC's argument that all of the XRP sales at issue were investment contracts and found that the token itself was not a security. That's right. So as evidence to support their claims, the SEC sent the conclusion of the SEC v. Ripple case to Bitnomial and failed to mention, obviously, that XRP itself was not found to be a security, and it was only about Ripple's transactions on an institutional level. That's the part where Ripple lost. Can you believe this is real life? What in the ever-loving hell? What fresh hell is this? This is absolute insanity. It couldn't be more obvious they're blatantly lying. What judge will fall for this? Hopefully zero. Hopefully no judge. So let me read these 3 paragraphs because, yes, you need to hear this. This is what Bitnomial wrote. During this discussion, the SEC offered to provide documents to explain its rationale and position. On August 23, 2024, the SEC sent to Bitnomial 3 summary judgment briefs from SEC v. Ripple Labs, Inc., a Southern District of New York case, where the court analyzed and ruled on whether certain sales of XRP constituted sales of an investment contract. In these summary judgment briefs, the SEC asserted that the Ripple defendants violated Section 5 of the Securities Act when they offered and sold XRP to the public as an unregistered security. The SEC asserted that XRP is an investment contract under the test set forth by the Supreme Court in SEC v. W.J. Howico. And so we all know that. The SEC asserted that XRP itself is. Now, of course, again, like I said earlier, if you ask them, is XRP a security, throughout the entire Ripple case, they'd say no. But then you look at all of their arguments, the arguments argue that it is, which is just infuriating, but that's what they did, the embodiment of it, right? Anyway, Bitnomial continues here. The SEC did not note, and this is the most egregious thing here, the SEC did not note that the district court rejected the SEC's argument that all of the XRP sales at issue were of an investment contract and therefore sales of a security, instead of holding that in certain instances XRP was a security, but that in others it was not. And so that's the part where Bitnomial got to correct them. They didn't find that in certain instances XRP was a security. That's a sloppy wording of it. We know what they're getting at. But in certain instances, XRP was packaged as part of an investment contract scheme. That would have been more precise here. And these are the attorneys. So they, there's just opportunity. They could clean that up a little bit because that's not precise. And in fact, if you look at paragraph 34 again, they said the opposite here, didn't they? I think it was this part. A Southern District of New York case where the court analyzed and ruled on whether certain sales of XRP constituted sales of an investment contract. So there you go. In section 34, they say certain sales constituted sales of an investment contract. And in the 36, this is why you can call it nitpicky, but I think it matters. They say instead of holding that in certain sales of XRP was a security, but in that others it was not. Those are 2 different things. So in 34, that's properly worded. In 36, it is not. That's the paragraph 36. Just calling it out. I noticed it and I was like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not an attorney. I just pretend to be one on YouTube, but come on. Here's a post from attorney Fred Rispoli in response to this. He says, this is next level government corruption. It's the kind of behavior that destroys any hope I had of SEC coming to its senses under the current regime, admittedly low. There is no hope without substantial change. Yep, spot on. Here's a post from Santiago Velez, co-founder and R&D division lead at Block Digital. And he wrote, why aren't these attorneys being held accountable by the bar in formal complaints to the courts? This type of behavior is unethical and not conducive to practicing law. I'm glad he said that. And they should for multiple reasons. And I'll mention, though, and I'm sure some of you may have seen this story or caught my video about it, but Jorge Tenrero, the primary lawyer in the SEC v. Ripple case, he is facing a complaint. And, if it goes through, like, it is the type of thing that could, in theory, get him disbarred. I don't know if that's going to happen. But that was for the... I think it was for the Debtbox case. I apologize if I'm misspeaking there, but you can Google it real quick if you type something like, SEC lawyer, complaint, crypto, something like that. I'm sure you can find it, but it was within the last week or so. So there actually was a complaint brought against him. Actually, no, it was Veritasium. It just came to me. It was Veritasium. It was Jorge Tinderos who was involved in that, and then he was also involved. Jorge was involved in the Debtbox case. That's why I was thinking that, and Ripple. So he's attached to pretty much everything that just tries to ruin people's lives in crypto and their financial well-being, pretty much. So I won't be surprised if there are more complaints against him, but we'll see. There's also this from attorney Bill Morgan. He says, I wondered why the Bitnomial XRP futures did not appear active after the big announcement in August. Now we know. The SEC intervened and is certain that if Bitnomial listed the XRP futures, it would violate federal securities laws and that XRP futures are security futures. The SEC asserted to Bitnomial, according to Bitnomial, that XRP is an investment contract, even though the court in SEC v. Ripple found that XRP itself is not an investment contract, and the SEC told that the same port that would not challenge that finding. This is a low point even by SEC standards. Take a position in dealing with a party trying to list a futures contract that is inconsistent with what you told the court in another matter about the underlying asset. So there you go. Unless somebody somehow magically is able to register XRP, which Ripple can't even do. I mean, the court found that Ripple can't do that. Unless somebody or something magically registers XRP as a security, which they won't be able to do, then you can't have the futures contract. You see how they're just stuck in a box here? It's complete and utter garbage. How the hell? This is the most disgusting, despicable government agency out there. It's just in the United States. Like, this is despicable. They are harming people financially. They're harming businesses financially that are just out there operating in good faith, trying to make an income so they can support their families, their children, so on and so forth. You know, provide service to customers that want that service, and the SEC wants to crap all over it. It's outrageous. It's completely outrageous. The good news is Bitnomial here, they have the gumption to fight back, and they have filed a lawsuit. And hallelujah, I love to see it. I absolutely love to see it. They are not capitulating. They will not acquiesce. That is fantastic. And the SEC is wrong here for doing this, and they will not win if this goes through. There's no freaking chance. I can't imagine that. So that part you do love to see. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.